dating.
Yes, I totally agree.
Because it's not like, oh, the people left, they're all going to date each other. No, they're not. They're in like a defensive stance. And New York was already a rough place to date. So all the bars and restaurants, I hate to say this, they're not going to survive a lot of this. There's no money left. So it's going to be even harder to get on the subway because the subway's not going to. All the things you want to make your swinging single life better.
It's gone.
It's gone, New York. You got to go.
So sad.
I know. It is sad, and I don't like to say it, and it's really tough love for the New Yorkers.
They need to hear it.
You're going to have to rethink that. So maybe why don't you do this? Go find a place for like 3 months.
Try it out.
Try out another, like here's, I don't know, Athens, Georgia. Pick a place. Throw a dart at a board and just be like, I'm going to try this for 3 months. If you really miss New York,
it's always there. You can always go back.
Nobody goes back. So, you'll find love. And maybe your love will say, let's move back to New York. And you'll have to say, no, we can't afford a house and we can't have kids in New York. And,
we can afford one school.
I know we can afford one school,
No.
I grew up 38 miles from Manhattan, and we never went into Manhattan. It was a hassle.
It's a hassle.
My parents were like, it sucks. So, sorry, New York, you're on the list. You've been on the list before. I see that Sex in the City is coming back again without
Samantha. I just read that yesterday.
So there's 3 of them left?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Golden Girls.
It kind of is. I mean, they're not that old, but it's...
What are they doing?
But what's the point? Where are we going here? I get it.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
I
kind of agree with that.
People are like, oh, I watch Sex and the City. That's New York dating. No, it's not. It's 3 women sitting around having brunch and complaining about how hard dating is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no happily ever after for them.
No, I think New York would be. I mean, I've spent a lot of time there.
I have too. Lady Liberty has that resting bitch face. So it's very
it's a good
harsh.
reason.
Yeah, it's good. So, sorry, New York. You are number 4 on the worst cities to find love for 2020. Number 3 is St. Louis, Missouri.
Really?
Yeah. Well, now, what have you heard about St. Louis?
Not much. I mean, that's the thing. When I lived in Chicago, there were a lot of people from St. Louis, but they don't stay there.
No, they don't. And then they say it's a wonderful place to raise a family, which it is.
And then they go back when they're married.
Right. So they have to leave to find somebody to marry. They go to Chicago and then they bring back. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I don't need to be a doctor to diagnose diabetes. All I need is a St. Louis address, and it's like 2/3 shot that you're really unhealthy. Scratch off tickets, smoking. That's all in St. Louis still. It's all there.
Smoking? You can smoke in bars and restaurants there?
We're in Ohio recording this. Yes. There's a lot of smoke in here, too. There's a lot of people just outside in the cold just smoking.
I've not noticed that, but I trust you, Brian.
I know it's because I'm very perceptive.
And I also don't spend a lot of time
and I also
am
from Los Angeles where you can't smoke. You can't even smoke in your own place, except pot. You can smoke pot everywhere.
Yeah, anywhere you want.
So you notice the smoking huddles. So I noticed it a little bit in Ohio, but St. Louis is just filled with it. And St. Louis, people like, I got to go to Chicago. Nobody's going to be, if you're 23.
Yeah, you don't want to stay in.
And you grew up in St. Louis and you want to start dating, you know that you don't want to stay there. You got to go.
You got to leave.
So it's a real thin pool from, say, 20 to 40.
Sorry, everybody there. That's
right. Sorry. I know they know.
They know, but yeah,
get out. And so they're like, do I go to Nashville? Do I go to Chicago? Do I go down to Dallas? They're thinking about where are the places within my vicinity that I can move and it won't be so drastic that I can't come back once I get engaged. You know?
It's always tricky, but yeah, I get it.
Right. I mean, the people there, they're always like, every woman there is like, oh, he's a Bush heir. You know, the beer people. And I'm like, how many Bush heir? That's a good pickup line in a bar. I would just change my name. I'd be like, I'm Joey Bush. And some girl would like me there. Yeah. And everybody there, you know, is dating some girl who used to be a Rams cheerleader, and the Rams haven't played there in like 6 years. So I'm like, is that something? Is that nothing? What is that? So that's St. Louis. Get it together, St. Louis. I don't know what to tell you. It's not like Oklahoma City's better now and Kansas City's better now. St. Louis was that jewel of the... We talked about things before that are better in person. And St. Louis Arch is better in person.
It is better in I mean, that's what I was going to say when you said St. Louis. The Arch, that's how
it's awesome.
Okay.
The most disappointing thing in person,
why is it so
besides
awesome?
me,
okay,
is the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. It's small and
it's not
underwhelming.
That big.
No, your town, wherever you're listening, great love listener, has a better tree.
Has a better tree.
There's a tree out here that's better than that. Yeah, the Rockefeller Center is like, huh.
Well, it just looks good on camera.
It does. They really shoot it
on
well.
The Today Show.
They shoot it from a low angle, but you're in person. It's like, oh, I thought it'd be bigger.
Not so good.
But the St. Louis Arch, to me, in person, it's
now
like
I
majestic.
have to go and check it
It's
out.
amazing. You're like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Okay.
So you have a really cool
You have
thing.
a cool thing in your city, but
yeah,
just,
you have a cool thing. I don't know if
you
we're
have
riding up to the
families,
top
but
of the
not-
arch. Yeah, so there are things really wonderful about St. Louis. None of them are good for dating.
Good for single people.
They're good for single people. Okay. Number 3.
So we're
on
top
our
3
list.
now. I mean, this is
so exciting. It's like The Bachelor. We've
I know.
We've
Oh my
sent them
gosh.
home. When you sent, is there words when you send somebody home like the tribe has spoken? Is there something like that?
I think it's like if you did not receive a rose this evening, please say your goodbyes now. And I think that's how it goes. Still,
That's how it goes. Still,
yeah. No, like you're fired.
There's no you're fired.
There's no you're fired, or the tribe has spoken, but you didn't receive a rose.
What did So Trump said you're fired.
You're fired.
And Schwarzenegger said you're terminated when he did
You are
the Bachelor.
terminated. Yes.
Yeah. What did Martha Stewart say?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
No dessert for you
I think
or
she
something?
may have said you're fired still.
No, I think she
did,
had
okay.
her own thing. Jen's going to
I'm
look
going to
that
Google
up.
this. Now I need to know.
Her catchphrase, like what was it? I remember like hearing and I'm like, oh, that's good. Like it was kind of
It's going to take me a
what is
while.
that called? Her catchphrase?
Her
What's that
catchphrase.
called?
Like,
yeah, what is her?
Seacrest out.
Yeah, see,
Like that.
if I went to the bar and I would just like, I'm like, Howie out. Is that cool or no? Because I love Seacrest. I think Seacrest is awesome.
You just don't fit in. That's Martha Stewart.
That's so bitchy.
You just don't fit in here.
Because that's the thing I love about Shark Tank is they're like, and for that reason, I'm out. I love it. And I think that's a good dating exit too. You want to break up?
It is.
For that reason, I'm out.
I'm out.
You just don't
good.
fit in?
You just don't fit in here.
Man,
It's
that's
so
too
Martha
bitchy.
Stewart. She hates everybody. She's better than everybody.
Okay. Jeez. All right. Our number 3. We are to the top 3. And this is a 2-time winner, loser of this thing. They're down to number 3.
Okay.
And it is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And about a year ago when I did this, I said Philadelphia was getting better because the people there, especially the men, were not so aggravated like they had been for many years because the Eagles had never won the Super Bowl. And it was a big thing. And then the Eagles won the Super Bowl and it let a little bit of air out of the balloon and everybody's a little bit happier. That's over. They're miserable. They're booing Santa Claus. They think the Eagles suck. They want to fire the coach. They hate the quarterback. And that is such a thing there that it trickles down to the women. And it's also very parochial. Like not only if you're from any other major city, it's where you from or where do you what high school did you go to? And it's still still
care about the high school.
Yeah, what high school and whatever your answer is will tell you everything you need to know about that person. So everybody's prejudged everybody.
They
in
know
Philadelphia.
every high school what person comes out of this particular high school.
Yeah, and this is what this means, and this is who your family is, and it's the strangest thing,
Very
especially
weird.
for a giant city. Not too many people for a big city though move to Philadelphia. Even sort of a big business city, and a lot of finance in Philadelphia. Like people came from maybe Delaware, but people aren't like, oh, I'm
moving
St.
from
Louis and I'm going to move to Philadelphia.
No,
so they don't get a lot of turnover in those the Schuylkill River waters.
So they just got to work with what they've got.
Sort of,
There's
yeah.
no,
So it's a really
outside.
big stagnant pool.
Too bad.
The guys are assholes. They don't mind being assholes.
They're like this
the
East
women
Coast
are kind
sort of thing too.
There's like a East Coast
attitude.
Yeah, there's a lot of
They're
bitchy.
better.
They are better
Than you.
Yeah, it's like Boston without the sense of humor. Yeah. So Philadelphia,
Okay.
you're still
Sorry,
on the
Philly,
list.
but
You won twice. And sorry about the Eagles, but cheesesteaks get you so far, but not good. Like so Philly's at one end of the state, terrible.
And then Pittsburgh's
the other end of the state.
Now
delightful.
it's another rivalry. They're fighting over this one.
Yeah, I get it. So they fight over everything. Give me Pittsburgh every day of the week over Philadelphia. And I love going to Philadelphia. Like I think there's a lot of history and culture and art and things to see, but the people there are very Philadelphia. And that doesn't change.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Number 2, we're down to number
Down
2
two, up
on
2?
our list.
Okay,
This,
I like
this
it.
city has never won, but if you had to add up its scores over the last 5 years, it probably is because it's been like 2, 2, 3. It's been circling the drain of top one. It's fucking terrible. It is San Francisco, California.
I lived there, so I know. I can see it.
Did you live in
sure.
San Francisco
I lived
proper?
I lived in the Marina District. Or the Marina. In the Marina. Yeah.
Which is nice.
Very nice.
San Francisco's beautiful.
It's
like
so
anybody in the
beautiful.
world
I
would
mean,
come and be like, this
amazing.
is an amazing city. Unless you're dating. Like you talk about like ground zero for the independent woman who doesn't need you and the weird guy who's just like porn and PlayStation and I don't need you either.
Porn and PlayStation in the most one of the most expensive
because
cities.
they can't go, they're not going out. So it's like, okay, I live here. I can either really afford it, which doesn't really make you better to date. The people to date is like, someday I can afford this and you're working towards it. That's a hopeful dater. Somebody's like, I'm here.
And I'm never going to get ahead because it's just.
It's too or what do you have to offer me? She's like, I have a better job than you. So and she probably
need you.
does.
Right.
She doesn't need you. So it's, San Francisco, despite all the homeless and drugs and all the stuff, is stunning.
Beautiful.
All of it around there.
So
Oakland's
fun.
beautiful.
So nice.
It's all did. But there's no fun. There's no. You walk around San Francisco for 2 hours and tell me if you hear any laughing that's not from a tourist.
It's also pretty dreary there too.
When it's bad,
in
it's
June. It's 50 degrees.
It is. There's no laughing in San Francisco.
Summer joy.
We've done a lot of shows there. Played comedy clubs there. Done theaters there. The laughs maybe they just don't like me, but the laughs there
very
are not
serious.
Yeah, it's very serious. They are. It's
They're very serious.
It's like growing up in the Howie house. There's no laughter in my house.
Oh.
No, they're very serious, and that's not dating. There's no cuteness. There's no flirtiness in San Francisco.
Lightness.
Yeah, it's like a really pretty painting. It's very two-dimensional.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So San Francisco.
I can understand that.
You
Sadly.
are number 2. You've been 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you're going to get to 1 because there's always somebody worse, and it's still like San Francisco's awesome if you have the means.
If you have the means. Otherwise, forget it.
I know. If you're in the right place, it's like, this is awesome. Most people are not getting in the right place, and then it just sucks. Mm-hmm. And you're stuck in some bridge traffic because you probably don't live anywhere beyond the bridge traffic. All right. And we do have a number 1 this year. I don't know how it hasn't been number 1 before. I don't think I studied it. I don't think I solved it quite what was
really
wrong with it.
Really excited about hearing number 1. Okay.
Number 1, the worst city in America to find love for 2020 is Houston, Texas. Now,
really?
Houston is the 4th largest city in America by population, and it is the 3rd largest city by area. And so it's hard to believe that something that is so big with so many people has nothing to do and no one to do it with. Okay?
Okay.
That's Houston. The old line, there's like
no central
there's
meeting
no there
spot.
there.
That makes sense. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
It smells like an oil fire. It feels unhealthy. It's about 1,000 degrees there, and then your only choice is to go to some terrible beach. Like Galveston's a terrible beach, always on the brink of a hurricane, and it's filthy. And Houston's main attraction is a 50-year-old mall that hasn't been updated, like the famous it sucks. It's really hard to be in Texas and of Texas and part of Texas and not be fun. That's Houston.
Sorry, Houston.
It's a city without style. Great. It's a city without culture. And apparently it's a city without Pilates classes because everybody's out of shape in Houston. And don't give me like the barbecue. The barbecue's not in Houston. The barbecue's in a lot of other places. And the good Mexican, it's just
like the fourth city.
It's like depressing. You'd be like, if you saw it, it was just a person. If Houston was a person.
Get your shit together, right?
Exactly what it'd be like. It's like, what's wrong with you? Stand up straight, Houston.
You're Texas.
You're Texas.
Come on.
Exactly. Even Texans are like, Houston. Yeah. Texans will be like, San Antonio kind of sucks, but they're trying. They're trying to convince us. Like, if you go to San Antonio, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, did you see the Riverwalk?" And it's not that cool. There's like a Dick's
up and coming, and they're trying to make it better.
Right.
And they're
at least there's
about
something.
It.
There's nothing in Houston that you'd be like, "Did you go to Houston? Did you
go to
no
nothing to see here?
Nothing to see. No one to do it with.
Restaurants, no
nothing.
Central
and it's too big, and there's too many people to have nothing, and there's too much money.
You can meet someone way too far away from you.
I know. And they argue about which is the best place to live in Houston, and all those places are equally characterless. Like
So there's
Texas